Party started in here. I spotted no. What's up, TB? Ain't nothing going on, Tyler. We're getting the party started. Brown bags, wine. Listen, let's real talk for my Patreon people. Y'all gotta pay attention to the app, man. Y'all paying for that. Like
Hey, gotta have
y'all
them notifications on.
gotta have your notifications on. That's what you wanted. I'm answering the messages back. I'm posting stuff on the wall. Like the link. Did that link to get in work on the wall I put on the Patreon? Just feel.
Yep, that's how I got in.
Exactly. I'm posting a link on the wall and everything, man. You're supposed to be interacting with that. If you don't, it's to me, it's like you're just wasting your money, bro. Like you're supposed to be able to talk with me on there. Some people started it and didn't say nothing. I'd be like, all right, man, what's up? I'm good. Like, bro,
Hey, thanks for the love.
thanks for the love, I guess, man. But I mean, you're supposed to
Yeah.
be able to interact, man. I feel like I'm bothering them. Like, hey, what you doing? Now let me get my little situation good here. I'm waiting on my coffee. Yo, thanks for the channel. I appreciate that. His name is just Yo. I appreciate that. Basically, with the rookie thing, man, I like talking to the rookies because they're the ones who genuinely got questions, man.
Oh yeah.
They legitimately got questions. They're legitimately going through things. Once you get a hang of the job, you're pretty much just you're winging it, dude. You're good. You know what you're doing, pretty much. Got me a Twitch person up in here.
Yeah. In the beginning, you're finding you.
Right.
You're in the beginning. You're very much so stuck to that handbook code of ethics as far as how to operate and move around as a driver. You don't really start discovering who you are as a driver until you got that first 6 months to a year out. Because in the beginning, all you doing is to a T doing what your trainer told you to do with your tail
Right.
tucked.
Right. Until you start figuring out this ain't right, or this is right, or this is right.
Yeah,
Don't fight him, man. He can at least give you what to do until you figure. A lot of other stuff you just gonna learn by
trial and
unless
error.
trial and error, unless you can get into a position where people is actually dropping info about it. So just Phil, when you first started, how long you been driving?
I'm in my fourth year now.
Fourth year.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot in a short period of time.
And what would you say the main thing you needed to know that you didn't know?
To stay on the road.
What?
Yeah, that's out of all the many mistakes and trial and errors I've learned in my driving career, that was probably the biggest one. I should have stayed my whole first year.
On the road.
Yeah, I should have. If I was gonna go local, I would still be doing what I'm doing now. Like I have nothing bad to say about that. If you find what works for you, but as far as going a route of doing the like I talked about before the vendor trucking, no, that was a huge mistake.
You should have
Like
just stayed.
vendor trucking made me almost want to quit this industry completely.
Is it that bad though?
It is horrible.
What about it makes it so bad?
It's backbreaking work. Like literally, you are just a vendor employee that happens to have a CDL. It's truck driving has so little to do with it.
Hold on, someone just sent me that graph, and I'm looking at it here. Ooh, bro, I'm seeing discrepancies already. Sheesh. I wish he call in. Like call in, because I'm seeing where you leave money on your 70 hour. I'm seeing that this thing is dropping down from driving, and everywhere where you supposed to be off duty, he on duty the whole day.
um,
This is one
Smoking
on
at
duty.
70.
One on duty. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. There's 9 times of on duty over 30 minutes, bro.
Good grief.
Yeah, we need to talk. You need to call in. Trey, you need to call in.
Yeah, we can
I
give you the
need.
game on that e-log setup because that's a lot.
Yeah, bro. You got to call in on that one, pimp. You got to call in on that one.
And that's another thing too. Unless you're on a set schedule type of local thing, where it don't matter when you're always know when you're gonna get a 34. Yeah, you got to protect that 70.
Yeah.
See, like with my situation, because I'm only running 40 to 50 hours max, it don't matter. I can just let mine rock. But if you are in a spot where part of your money is contingent on you stretching that 70 out, you got to protect that 70.
Yeah, you got to protect that 70, and I don't. I need to get his situation right, and see if he's just because this is a little rough, man. You got to hold on, Phil.
Hmm.
You can get to your IG
Hmm.
because I could be reading this wrong because this looks
Take a
different.
look at it.
Where's where's Phil
And
at?
that's something I had to learn the hard way too about how to work that 70, because when I started out when I was OTR, I was doing tanks, and part of our pay was the time we get paid for unloading.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, you have to record X amount of time on your on duty time to get paid for it." So I was like, "Okay, cool. I just need to stay on duty the whole time." When that was not the case, it was doing more harm than good.
Am I reading that right? That looks like he's on duty. Look at your. I sent it to your text message.
Let me see
He's on.
here.
All those downs are on duty because this line is driving. Yeah, this is on duty. I'm counting
Ooh,
30,
okay.
30, 30. That's an hour. 30. Ooh,
Yeah, that's not good.
that's on duty,
Either
buddy.
he's stopping a lot, or because I don't know what kind of freight he's moving.
Right, I wish he would call in. I
Yeah.
don't know because he sent this a minute ago. I don't know if he's paying attention right now. Let me.
Because based on the pattern, I think the front half of that is probably him stopping, and then the back half of that is probably him at the shipper moving around.
True, but you supposed to jump into your off duty and say that 70, bro. Like
Right.
that's assuming that you are OTR.
Right. And based on this machine, I believe I know who he runs for. And yeah, there's ways around that. That's something I'd have to break down to him offline to get very specific. But yeah, there's ways he can protect his 70.
Yeah, he. So who he's with? Are they OTR
Yeah, they have OTR, regional, and local. Just depends on which account he's on.
from that top name? You talking about that name at the top?
No, from this machine. I know this machine setup because I used to work for these people.
Yeah, I'm
That's the
looking.
U.S. Express machine.
So that is the yeah that okay, okay. Yeah, because my thing, even if you are stopping a lot, you should still throw it on off duty.
Right,
And that at least six of these could have been off duty.
right.
Yeah, he needs to. We need to
Especially in
talk.
that back half, because like I said, it looks like he might have been, scooting around the shipper or whatever the case may be, and yeah, he definitely can save that time.
So how many dudes you think is out here just messing that time up like that?
That's the thing. Everybody's gonna do it until they either have somebody tell them how to manage that time or just have to learn the hard way, like I did.
Right, because
Especially
these.
because in the new age of e-law, they make it seem like it's so cut and dry, but no, you can work the clock like a paper log to a degree. You just have to
Right,
know what you're doing.
depending on who you with, because some people they put
Right.
roadblocks on you editing.
Right. It
But
just depends on the machine, but like I said, I've worked with a couple of different. There's tricks to the trade, so to speak.
yeah, your time clock is your money, man. Like y'all,
Yeah.
that is your whole check. like, that's the I would think that's the first lesson that needs to be learned. That falls under time management, man. You got to manage that time because if you're doing that and you do that in you're not even gonna make it to 7 days.
No.
You're not gonna make it to 7 days. You're gonna
You'll
be
get to
basic.
6 and then be stuck.
You'll be 6 and you'll get 2 hours back. And it's gonna and then if I was to go through and clean your clock up, you would have another 18 hours, bro.
Yeah.
Like that, and then with that another 18 hours each next day, you'll be getting 7 8 back to go on top of the 7 8 you have left. So you'll be able to run a whole another week nonstop.
That's a fact.
How many people do you think not understand the recap thing
I would say out of an average of
from
10
a
people that
rookie
go through a
standpoint?
truck school, I would say at least 7 of them don't know how to use it.
That's a bad number, bro.
Like there's a high amount of people. Like the last orientation I went through, the greater majority of those people didn't understand recap at all.
that can't be, man.
Because the problem is when people teach the concept, they don't break it down enough, and people are afraid to ask the questions because they don't want to be the one that's like, "Oh, were you paying attention?" So rather than ask, they'll just not know and be messing up their money.
Quincy G says, "I don't understand recap." All right, all right. Let's break down the recap. Let's break down your recap. Basically, what's going on? You got your eight. You got 8 days. If you do your time correctly, you'll start getting time back. After that 8 days, whatever you drove, you're gonna get back. So if you are smart, you would just do 8:45 a day, and you'll never have to recap ever. You can just run forever. But the problem with that is that's gonna have you doing some drive shifts at night, and most people don't want to do that.
Right.
So they're gonna run their stuff at around 9, 10 hours a day. Now you have 2 hours in your clock that you can just burn on off duty that won't affect your distance. After those around 2 hours, it's starting to eat up your 14-hour clock, and now you're messing with your distance.
Yeah.
Peep game. The reason why we're so tough on y'all about putting yourself on off duty when you're doing certain things is because every minute you lose on duty sitting there, that comes out of your 70-hour distance. You're gonna pay for that. Now, some stuff you got to do regulated. You have to you gotta do your little 30 minutes and all that stuff. But we're talking about between when you started and a 38-hour break. If you got 3, 4 on duty periods of 30 minutes, you're burning money, bro. You're burning money. So you
Yeah.
need. That's why you also I try to run my days like 10 hours because when my 8 hours is about to come up, I'll have like let's say that day I may have 6 hours. And I think, okay, it's time to start thinking about my recap. I will have enough hours to go pick up. And then I know that night I'm gonna get around 9, 10 back.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be running on 10 hours, 9 hours, 8, 9, 10. And I can finagle with my 10 hours in the sleeper and still get it there on time. You have to learn this valuable dance. If not, you're gonna say, I just need a 34-hour reset. Bro, them 34-hour resets, if you're in an owner-op situation, you're losing money with them bitches.
Yeah. And just a game from my perspective, if you're on a multi-day load, we're talking about a load that's over 1,000 miles. There's no reason to run more than 9 hours in a day.
It isn't. But see, if you follow that from Phil, you're gonna have to wake up 10 hours after you stop though.
Yeah, you got to be on that clock.
You got to wake up 10 hours after you stop. So you can't say, well, Phil said only run 9 hours and then stay in the sleep for 15 hours. You can't do that,
It don't work like that.
though. It does not work that way. And I think that this is a fundamental we're going to have to keep making videos about because it is your whole check, bro. This is your whole. A lot of people who saying, well, I'm at this company only making $600. Man, a lot of that money is in what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. If I was running my clock correctly and only spending 10 in the sleeper, I could have made an extra $200 a week when I was OTR.
Right. And you was averaging what, 7, 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, I was doing
So
between 6 and 7.
6 and 7. So at seven, 200 more dollars, you've made $900 a week.
Right.
Add a fuel bonus on that because probably you messing up your clock took you out of the fuel bonus.
Yep.
So if he would have did that, he probably would have got a fuel bonus bump and almost scraped 1,000,
Exactly.
if not
Because
over.
because the account I was on, because I was hauling chemicals, it all came from the same plant. So we would get sent out, for a multi-day run and come back empty. My problem is coming back, I would stay in the sleeper for 12 hours. So I'm missing opportunities to go make more money and burning my 70.
So how do you feel about a reset every week? Quincy says I try to get a reset every week.
Unless the account is designated for that, you're messing up your money. That is a mistake. That is 100% a mistake. You are missing out on so much money by doing that.
Hold on, Quincy. We're gonna ask you some questions. Call in. I'm gonna let you call in free, Quincy, because this right here is we about to affect your money right here if you say a certain thing. So hit that link, call in Quincy, and let us know what account you're on.
Like, I would say the only time that makes sense in which I mean, I'm just speaking from the experience I know. Unless you're on like a dedicated flatbed lane where you're routing through your home every week, and that's how they have it set up. Outside of that, it doesn't make sense to take a reset every week.
I've heard people at like Prime and Swift regular OTR that takes a recap every single week, a reset.
I mean,
That's bananas,
yeah,
bro.
that's wild.
And I'm gonna tell you what that is. A lot of that is they just don't want to learn how to recap. They want to feel secure in how many hours they got every day. So they
Right.
just like screw it. I'll just stop. And it's like, man, come on, bro. Damn, this.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's an art to running recap. But once you understand the system and commit yourself to it, it's you can run for several weeks to a month at a time on recap.
We in here trying to help people in the industry. Red, why, bro? Ain't nobody talking about you. Why are you here, man? Think about it, dog. This
Oh, this what we on today? All right.
we in here trying to help rookie drivers with their clock, and here you go. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Phil. And
Boy,
then
boy, boy.
and then when they say, "Oh, you need to give back" and all this other stuff, here we go. Hmm?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, let me put that right there.
See, I could I could really go in right now, but this ain't about him because that's what he want.
Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do the respectable thing, and just I'm gonna keep you uh, in at the New Regime channel where your type of content is at, Red. But I'm gonna have to block you on here because this is for helping people. I'll play along with you over on the other channel, man, but not this one.
Yeah, this ain't that type of time.
This ain't that type of time.
But yeah,
Uh,
where's Quincy at? Please call him.
yeah, Quincy, he didn't. I don't know if he wants to call in. Well, Quincy, just tell us what account you're on. Hey, tell us what account you're on, because if you're doing a reset, if you're regional, you want a 34-hour reset. Yeah, we're not talking about regional. We're talking about OTR, and I don't even know about that for regional, depending on how your dude's running you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Because even with regional accounts, if it's a what I would call a rotating account where they're moving freight every day regardless, you can still pick up that extra opportunity by not taking that reset.
That's what I'm saying. Like even if it's regional, that don't mean that you got to stop every week.
Yeah.
It gives you the opportunity to stop every week. But if you know how to run this recap, he can send you back out.
Yeah.
You, you know, I've ran regional. I did the Western regional, and they just keep the loop going. That don't mean they want you to come home.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get this coffee in. Deal with the bullshit, bro.
Well, I mean, Troy, if that's what the situation allows for, if you're putting out those kind of miles and you feel like you've hit your goal and can take a reset, then there's nothing wrong with that. But we're speaking to the rookies who are missing opportunities of money by taking the reset or by not extending that 70 as far as it can go.
Hold on. Quincy says, I'm on OTR, but I run my clock out each day, and I never
Mm,
learned recap because I rather reset to avoid burnout. Oh, bro, you got to
mm,
fix that, doggy.
yeah, okay.
You got to fix that, man. That's you're leaving money on the table with that. And I understand. I do. Let's be real. I understand where you're coming from on the whole burnout situation, but at the same time, oh, am I low? Am I low right now? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you just fine.
Hold on. They say I need to turn my mic up a little bit. All right, I turned it up. I hope that helped. But you don't want to burn out. But it's like I used to have that method, bro. I'm gonna lie to you. My first year and a half, I had the same thought process, man. Well, I'm just gonna run my hours out. And I even looked at it as a badge of honor. I run my hours. I'm my 70 gone, but it is not a badge of honor, dog. You're losing money.
Yeah.
I was trying to call in, but it's not loading me in. I hope that it's about the subject. I'm 6 months in. I did Warner dedicated, and now I'm OTR with a different company, so I don't know. No, listen, no, Quincy, we're not. I don't want you to take this as we're bashing you.
Yeah,
I
this is a
want you to
teacher
take.
moment.
This is a teaching moment. This is not for to make you feel bad. What I'm trying to say is if you can just bear with me and maybe drop it to about 9 hours. Oh, it's not letting you in. Trey, that's the person whose clock we're just looking at. That's who we need to call in. Trey, call.
Yeah.
Here go the link. Trey, call in so we can help you with that clock and you can explain to me a little bit what I'm looking at. But you want that recap, man, because when you stop on Saturday to do that recap, I'm getting another load, buddy.
Yeah.
And if I'm flatbed, I'm gonna pick a load up Friday. I'm gonna run that through the weekend. I could do 12, 1,300 miles. If we getting 40 cents a mile, buddy, I mean that's another $400 roundabout that you're
Exactly.
not getting,
Exactly.
and you spend money when the truck stops.
Yeah.
So this recap is not something that you got to learn it. You have to learn it and boost your money up a little bit. Another thing too, if you're talking about burnout, you got to get to the point where when you're sitting in that seat, that's like off time. That's what I got to the point where when I'm sitting down, I was like off time. 9 hours of drive time each day, even if you run night shift. Yes,
Yeah.
night shift ain't
The
got
thing,
nothing to
of-
do with it.
the biggest thing with that is you're gonna have to train your body to shift your sleep. Now, of course, like TB preaches all the time, 10 hours in sleeper. That doesn't mean you're sleeping to the 10th hour to a period. You really need to break your sleep down to 8 to 9 hours max. That way you can get up, get yourself acclimated, do your shimmy in the truck stop like you do whatever your morning routine is. That
Right.
way when that clock say 9:59, you ready to punch that
You
e brake.
waiting. Yeah, you waiting. And listen, and make sure it says 10 hours and 2 minutes because they'll mess around and mess you up. I done deal with that too.
Yeah.
All right, we got Trey up here. Trey,
How you doing, TB?
what's going on, big dog? I see the graph. And first of all, are you OTR?
I am OTR, and like I said, I was trying to tell you that's not one of my better weeks.
Yeah. Okay. That's not one of your better weeks because I'm looking at not the week. I'm not looking at your 8 hours. I'm looking at this graph you sent me of your day.
Now that graph, if I remember the right day I sent you, that was right after I got caught up in that snowstorm. I had to stop for the day. I was doing on and off.
You're doing on and off. But the bigger
Yeah,
question I'm asking is why is all these stop times on duty? How long you been driving?
not much.
9 months. Okay, so you haven't been driving that long, so it's a decent question. Have you noticed that all of these stop times you send me they're on duty for 20, 30, 20, 15 an hour? They're on duty. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah. When you look at that, so let me look at this. See, it's telling me that 3 hours of the day is on duty. So all you have to do now. I don't know if you can edit where you're at, and I really don't recommend doing this. But if I was in your situation, I would go through and I would turn all them joints off duty, dog.
Yeah, unless you were at the shipper, yeah, you need to buy that time back.
You need that time back because that's coming right out of your that's coming out of your 70, man. That's your money right there.
Okay,
And
And
if
see,
you go in there, which I'm sure you know how to do this at least on that graph, you know how it'll show your time logs in an event view like that list.
yeah,
You go in there and all the on duties, you need to shift those to off to get that time back.
you want to get that time back because what you're gonna end up doing, you're gonna run it into where it's gonna force you to do a reset. Because if I was to multiply this by 7 days, what you have here right now. Oh, let me get up here real quick. Let me get up here. Give me a second. Because we want we
like that graph. I'm telling you, this is one of my worst days, and I don't usually stop like that.
well
But
the
I
stop
didn't know
the,
that all the stops I was doing were on duty though. See,
right the
those
Right.
had
stops
to
are,
be at the shipper,
I'm
so I
gonna
put
be
myself in sleeper berth.
the stops are irrelevant. The fact that
Yeah.
you're stopping, that doesn't matter. What we're talking about is how did I mess this up? We're
Because I
talking
mean,
about
yeah, regardless of if you're actually stopping or not, unless you're taking your break, or like I said, it's a necessary on duty, like when you do your pre-trip, you need to shift those ons to offs. It
Yeah,
saves those minutes add up big time.
yeah, because sometimes you're in a situation where you got to stop that much. So the stopping ain't the problem. The problem is what you are classifying the stops, and they're stopping as on duty. Now I just did the math. Of course, it's not this flat, but this is what we're talking about, opportunity right here. We're talking about the opportunity for you to make money. If you were to do that for 7 days, around about, you would have wasted 21 hours out of your 70. If you classify your stops like that, just switching just switching to paying attention and making that off duty, you're going to gain 27 hours of distance. If we time that by what do you get paid in a mile?
37.
Dot 37. What the heck just happened? Okay, 21 times dot 37. That's $700. Did I mess that up? Why did I mess that up? Yeah, do that, Phil. I must have messed it up.
37. How many hours?
That's 21 hours. So it's supposed to be
Okay.
0.37
So it's
times.
21. Let's just call that 1,200 miles.
That's another $440 to $500 that you would get more just by switching that from on duty to off duty. Now, here goes the ins and outs. Technically, they say you're not supposed to do that, but dude, we're talking about your check.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they tell me to press sleeper berth and put myself in a sleeper, and that's technically off duty.
Here's the thing about that too. The whole sleeper berth thing, yes, technically you're supposed to use it, but realistically, unless you're going off on your actual 10, you don't need to be in sleeper berth,
Right.
at all.
Right, because I've been with companies that's like, dude, if you're not in the sleeper, you need to switch it from sleeper to off.
Right.
Because here's a quick thing. If you're 10 hours off duty, you're going to get your hours back. If you're 10 hours sleeper, you're going to get your hours back. The only reason why they tell you to pay attention to what you classify it, because if I was a DOT officer and I seen that you were in the sleeper for 30 hours, I would say you are misclassifying your stuff. And
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
But they basically do the same thing, but they're just to shelter you from the DOT. The main thing we're worrying about here is to make you more efficient with your classifying so you could run further to make more money. That's all we care about. Sometimes I've been in places where I've had to stop all day, but I on duty them joints every single time on duty. I'm on every time I'm on it, because if you look at it as distance, I'm 21 hours more. Okay, we call that 1,200 miles. I'm 1,200 miles. I'm getting 1,200. We'll call it 8 to 1,200 more miles a week than you are. We're getting paid the same. We're running the same freight. That means I'm averaging, we'll call it $400. So I'm averaging $400 more a week times 52. That's $20,000 for the year.
Yeah.
Something that, and another thing that's pisses me off too, is that your trainer should have been pushing this to you. Did he push this to you?
No, he just kept trying to push me for distance.
That's how they do now. Honestly, that's how the new trainers are.
Yeah.
So before I started trucking, I couldn't drive longer than 2 hours where I got too sleepy to drive. Now I'm out here driving a full clock. So
yeah, you doing your thing. You doing your thing. But here's the thing: if you're not classifying right, technically you're not driving the full clock. Because I know when you stop at if you stop at a gas station for 17 minutes, if you do that on duty, that's 17 minutes lost in your distance for the week. Like if you're, dude, I put on off duty if I'm in traffic too long.
Yeah. More than 10 minutes of traffic, I'm off.
I'm off duty, man. That's a fact. I'm trying to, y'all not about to burn my 70 up sitting here trying to get through Atlanta, because that's usually where I usually get in traffic.
Oh, yeah. 85.
Yeah. I'm not about to burn my 70 on that. I put that joint right on off duty. And if I'm at a place they got PC, I'm PCing through the whole traffic. Facts.
Yeah.
Most trainers suck these days. They're not interested in actually. I agree. He was just trying to get the money out, Trey. That's it. Hey, man, run this far. But instead of sitting down and saying, hey, listen, make sure every time you stop, you put it on off duty, because that's your money, bro. Like, he should have been saying that to you, and he wasn't. So if we look at this thing, and that's $20,000 extra dollars, $20,800 technically in opportunity. Remember when when I do these calculations, that's the opportunity of money you could have made. If you don't do it, you won't even have the opportunity to make it. So this is the opportunity of money that you could have made, and you want to be good at this by the time you switch to lease because that number goes up.
Yeah.
So if
And
you
yeah,
go
so
ahead,
and two, even if you're sitting in traffic and you want to have to fight with the dash machine, go back and audit your clock at the end of your shift.
yeah,
See, I
a
didn't know
lot.
we could do that.
Yeah,
Nah,
you can.
I don't know if he can do that where he's at. Can
That
he?
machine, yeah, you can.
Mm.
As a
Like I said, I
company,
told him how to do. If you go in that list on that chart, how you can scroll through the date and go to each event, you can change it.
So you saying he can go back and save time right now?
Yeah. The only thing he can't do is change drive time, but other than that, yeah, you can go back and fix it.
All those on duties, you can go through your days this week and turn them all to, except for your pre-trip
Yeah, pre-trip and your actual unload.
and your actual
Everything else,
unload.
you can fix that.
But that middle of the day, you can go to and switch all them joints to off duty and stack your hours back up. Everything you missed. Trucker Brown,
got
your
you.
dad would make a very good trainer. My dad was a trainer for Swift for years. So it's one of them things where once you do this, I couldn't see how long you've been in the sleeper berth either. You ain't sent me that sleeper berth action.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get more than just that one graph to you, man. Like,
All right, this is what I want you to do. I'm looking at this. Okay, he's in the graph. I can't see the. Isn't there another way for you to show me this? I wish I had it sitting right in front of me. There's a way to show me.
that's what I would like to know.
Let me pull up that picture again. I can probably help
Yeah,
you out
there's a
with
way he can show me how long he's been in the sleeper.
that.
Because I'm actually looking at this thing, and I think the top line is the sleeper, and it says
No,
13, right?
the top line is off. The second line is your sleeper time.
So you were off duty all last night. You didn't put yourself in the sleeper berth. So you technically, if were you in the truck last night?
Yeah, I was in the truck last night.
If I was a
10 hours.
if I was a DOT officer, I could pop you for that because you were in the sleeper sleeping, and you don't have no sleeper time here. That means that you classified it as off duty. That's a ticket.
Right. Any with regulation for sleeper berth, anytime you're taking off for your 10, 8 of those hours have to be in the sleeper. If you're in the truck. Now, if you're out the truck, like if you're in a day cab situation, that's different because obviously you don't have a sleeper. But if you're actually staying in the truck and your OTR, you have to classify 8 of those hours.
Listen,
See, I was just
Quincy,
told to press off duty and that would take care of it.
Yeah,
no,
because the carriers are lazy and your trainer was lazy. But
right?
a
But if
DOT
the DOT,
officer, if you catch the wrong one, they will pop you for that.
they will pop you for that.
And
And
that's a
and,
fat old ticket that you don't want to pay because it stays on your record.
and this is the thing. He can pop you for 5 days prior.
Yeah.
So you mess around, get 5 of these in one stop. So this is what I'm saying. That's why these shows are so important. And I'd be like, yo, go to the Patreon, and people, it's just a money grab. Technically, it's not because this. Okay, first of all, the time classification, that's 20 more thousand in your pocket for the rest of the year. That's one. This thing shows that we're gonna call this off duty sleeper because that's what you were doing. That's telling me you've been in there 13 hours and 2 minutes. That's 3 hours of. I'm assuming you're on a load. This is if you're on a load.
Oh
You're
yeah, I'm almost always loaded.
yeah, okay, then okay, we're gonna call this on a load. That's 3 hours of distance you missed. That's 3 more hours. So we can add that 3 hours to the 21 hours. Now you're up to 23 hours. Now if I was to take this number, go to the calculator, and
Oh no, as
that's
far as yesterday, like I had to get some maintenance done on a truck and a trailer. But if I would have kept driving that day, I wouldn't have had enough time, so I stopped early.
so you stopped
I
early.
gave myself enough time to get there for the appointment today.
And then while you were in the sleeper, the truck was being maintenance at the same time. Hello?
I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember where I put myself in because by the time I actually sat down,
Well,
I put myself off duty by the time I had sat down.
yeah, I wanna keep working with you on this time clock, man, because this is your bread and butter. Because if I was to, let's just use this just as an example. Let's say we don't know the ins and outs and the particulars. That's another 3 hours. You know, you're looking at that's another $30-something thousand, bro. That's another 30-something $1,000 in opportunity. I really want you to understand that this is opportunity. This is not a guaranteed you're going to get. But that's another $14,000 in opportunity that can be left on the table on top of the other $20,000. You're at about $34,000. That means when at the end of the year and it says, "Oh man, you made 36 grand," and then you see the people come on here and say, "OTR company don't make no money. I only made 38 grand when I was OTR." Bro,
Yeah.
it's so much money left on the table that I can't even take that statement correctly, because if I say, "All right, man, send me your graphs, send me your 8 days and all that type of stuff," I'm finding money. I'm looking, this is money here, money there, money here. That really, Mr. Triple Digit says 3 hours is 200 miles. That's 200 miles. And sometimes, what are you hauling?
Van.
Oh, van. So you have the opportunity to get there early and they unload you early.
A lot of the time, I'm getting there sometimes an hour early, but most of the time it's like 30 minutes before.
Yeah, with us, hold on one second. If you run,
I don't know if that's how they're scheduling it, but I'm running 62 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And I
that's
try to pull out.
that's another thing I'm going to call irrelevant. We got to get you so tight that how they schedule it doesn't really matter. Think about this. I don't know what your sleeper berth is for the last 10 days because I can't get there to look at it. But can you tell me right here that all of them were pretty much 10 hours?
No, somewhere over.
Somewhere over. Every minute over is money gone. That's literally how I look at it. When I get into the sleeper berth, I set my clock for 9 hours. I wake up an hour before I'm supposed to go. That gives me time to go in, BS, do a little, I want to buy this for my truck, get a biscuit, talk to Martha, whatever. I'm back. I got 15, 20 minutes to make sure the road is clear up down the road. Boom. Once 10 hits, I go straight into pre-trip, look around my truck, quotations, look around my truck, boom. As soon as the 10-minute or 8-minute or 15-minute hit, I'm down, I'm gone. And I'm like that pathologically, I have to be that way. Every single time I'm that way, because if I do that and then I turn around and I only stop for my 8-minute piss in 4 hours, then another 4 hours I'm at my 30-minute break, and then I drive for another 2 hours. I ran it that tight. I'm killing on distance. If I do that for the 3 days to get to where I'm going, 10 hours in the sleeper, perfect drive shift day, I'm going to be 17, 18 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. And understandably, things happen, but if you're running your clock to as much as your ability, machine like that 9-10 flip and split, there's no reason you should burn through a 70 in 7 days.
Facts.
At the most, you should be at 65 hours. And at that point, your 8th day, you're getting at least 8 to 9 hours back.
On top of 5, so you got 16 hours to run. You only go, if you run really tight, you should be pulling. This is a good day where no crap happened because things happen. You should be about 11 hours and 45 minutes of the day burned. So it get to the point where you'll run so tight, Trey, that you're not sleeping. You'll get there and it'll be early. You'll be like, oh, I'm not even ready to go to bed. I don't stop. Only 30-minute break. Do you have the pre-trip for 30-minute exactly, or can I look around and go? No, this is the thing. Your pre-trip cannot be an exact time every single day because they can pop you for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know
that's
that.
That's a thing that these megas should break the habit of saying your pre-trip has to be X amount of time. No, it's the required time to make sure that your machine is safe to get down the road.
Yeah, and actually, that can be anywhere between 8 to 13 minutes.
Yeah,
because you're walking around your truck, you're kicking tires, you're making sure your oil is good, all your lights work, you're checking your trailer, looking for air leaks.
Your coolant is right. Your belts ain't broke.
Yeah, you good. Nothing's cracked, bent, or broken. You're looking at 9 to 13 minutes. Then you down the road. Like, that's it. I was taught 15-minute pre-trip. Yeah, everybody's taught something different, Marcus. That's the thing. Some people are told 30 minutes. I know I was told 30 minutes when I came in.
Yeah, I was taught 15 because of hazmat, and then I went to a different carrier and they said 10. So it all depends on where you at.
So
But
what?
again,
Mm.
it's important that the time is based on how long it takes you to make sure your machine is safe to get down the road.
Right, and yes, mistakes do happen, but what we're talking about, where trade, we're trying to turn a rule into a value. You know what that means? That's when it's like that's like putting your seatbelt on. That went from a rule when you were a kid to a value you teach your kid. You
Yeah,
just do it, regardless. Even if you're going to drive from the Piggly Wiggly to the Starbucks a mile away, for some reason you just put it on. You need to be the same way about your time clock. I tell people if you drive across country and one of those drive shifts are not at night, you're not running your clock right.
that's a fact.
There's no way you went from North Carolina to California and drove days every day. That means you're running your clock loose.
Yeah, unless you got a shipper delay, there's no reason you shouldn't have two shifts within the same 24 hours.
We are required to do. Are you required to do post trips? That's a foggy one, man. Some people, I think that's technically by state and company
It's
policy, bro.
it's federally required, but the time length depends on the company you work for because they all
Okay,
have different things they have to comply to.
I don't do it. I'm gonna be
Hey,
real.
TB, you got that message? I told you how I normally drive out my days, right? Like starting out at 3 a.m. and everything.
You should drive your days
Is
out.
I normally drive my days out. Like I start at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I end
Mm-hmm.
normally around like 4 or 5. But the
Yeah,
If
no.
entire time I'm driving,
you're
if I'm not
starting
driving
at
on
3, you should be shutting down at 12, 1 o'clock. Honestly,
Yeah.
12.
Oh yeah. If you
yeah,
ran
you should
tight.
be done. Yeah, if you running your clock correctly, if you starting at 3 a.m. consistently, you should be shut down by no later than 1:30.
Right. That means that's that 3 hours we're talking about. So yeah, that's that 3 hours we're talking about. And really, to be honest with you, how many hours do you sleep a night, bro?
In between 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's about right. And people be like, "Why are you saying that?" Because you technically want to run this is complicated right here. I don't want to sleep too much because I want to fall asleep easy the next night. I don't want to get too much sleep.
Yeah,
So
I
I sleep.
program myself to sleep 4.5 hours.
That's when my father sleeps 4.5 hours. That's that run yourself crazy sleeping. I don't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
can't do that yet. No,
But it
6 hours
No,
I'm
it ain't
good.
for everybody.
5 I'm in
I know
trouble.
I'm an alien. That's not normal. I'm not gonna pretend like that's normal.
it's not normal. But also Phil is irritable at a certain time of day.
Also true. I don't do daytime. I am a night runner to a T.
So and you see, you need that sleepiness to fall asleep when the sun's up.
Yeah, yeah. 6 o'clock. I'm ready to go to bed.
See that's the thing. So what you learn is all these money places you done found $20,000 more. If you're used to getting paid what you're paying, Trey, that extra $20,000 you just dug out, you can go to your bank and say, "Hey, man, take $180 a week and put it into savings and
Exactly.
forget about it.
Just don't even look at it. It don't exist
Just
no more.
just forget about it. Don't go home and be like, dang, I want them rims. Don't do that. Like just leave it there until you talk to somebody who's a financial advisor to tell you where to store that money. I don't do that. I'm not gonna tell you where to store your money. I'm just gonna tell you need to be getting it to be able to store it somewhere.
Yeah,
I
either
mean, I'm
either
not really
saving or
into.
investing.
I'm not much into buying like materialistic things. Food is probably my main evil out when it comes out here on this road.
I understand. That
But
was
I've
my
been trying to
problem
cut
too. I love
everything
to eat
off.
out.
Man, let me tell you, there's nothing better than to have a rough day, park at a Walmart, and there's an Outback Steakhouse in the front of the
Oh,
parking lot.
pressure.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
I'm
don't let
spending
it be. Don't let it be
$47.
the 8 restaurants stripping the Longhorn is on the spot.
Oh my God, them rolls! I die for them rolls.
Ooh,
Sheesh.
ooh.
I hope does any of this clear up some stuff for you, Trey? I wanted to help you.
No, it clears out a lot. That's the whole reason I paid the money anyway, man. I'm trying to get the help.
But before you do get out of here, I do want to give you a very very basic understanding of how recap works. Okay, so you have your 70 hours, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you get to the end of 7, you're supposed to do a 34. How you roll over your time is by not maxing out your 70 in 7 days, which is why I was talking about the 9 hours. If you run 9 hours consistently for 7 days, that'll put you at 63 hours. On your eighth day, you're going to gain back the hours you started with at the beginning of that week, which is why they call it recap. And every day following that, you're gaining the hours back from the previous 7th day.
So is
And
that
as
8 to
long as
9
you
hour
run,
drive? That's during
right?
recaps only, or is that during your normal 7?
No, that's during your normal 70 to set it up. Your
Right.
recap is going to come in when you get to that 8th day. It's going to roll that time over that you ran originally, which is why I say you need to cut it down to 9 hours, because that's how much time you're going to gain back plus the original 5. And it'll continue to overlap your time to where you'll build up a consistent 20 to 25 hours that you can just keep overlapping and keep running, at least until your actual home time.
And you could basically not do you could not do a reset for 3 months straight and go home with all that money.
Yep.
But what we're proposing to you is hard.
No, it's not easy at all.
It's not easy because a lot of those, some of those days, you're gonna keep hitting night, day, because if the following rule is to stay in the sleeper 10 hours. So if you run as tight as I want you to run, then you run the recap like he's talking about, you're gonna be stopping sometimes 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So if we say 10 in the morning, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 o'clock at night, you got to get up and go. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
I don't have a problem with that. My issue is having somewhere to park for the night or for the day. I can sleep when I need to sleep. I can wake up when I need to wake up. Just where am I going to
Sometimes you're going
park?
to park on that rest area. Sometimes you're going to find that ramp to park.
Let me tell you, rest area is your friend.
Yeah.
If you don't got to get fuel, you shouldn't be thinking about no truck stop.
Facts.
At all.
Big facts.
A truck stop is there to waste your time and take your money on top of wasting your time.
Don't even take 30 at a truck stop. You need an hour easily.
You got food in your truck?
Yeah, I got food in the truck.
You got food in the truck. Ain't no point going to the truck stop if you don't need gas, if you don't need fuel.
Yeah.
And another thing too, you drive van, they let y'all sleep at the shipper sometimes. Not all the time, but y'all get it more than we forget it.
That's a fact.
So you need to be, this is what you do. When you get your load, you need to send that macro in to get directions, because that's usually where it says you can sleep there.
Yeah.
Every load, send for that directions.
And locking in that plan is going to take you from being an average entry level driver at 40 grand to, we're talking about 50, 55,000, being one of those top runners that the majors love to brag about.
Right. And then they're going to start giving you loads that they can't trust the sucky people with. So that means they're going to run you on loads that are important. Now, this is another thing too. If you run this tight and then you jump over to go lease, that's when your money going to go dumb. That's when you're going to be like, I'm seeing $4,000 checks because I know how to run my clock. And other people are like, man, I'm running this lease. I can't make no money on this lease. And you're going to know in the back of your head, you're not managing your time right.
That's a fact.
I was actually signing the paperwork to go over the lease. I was still being hesitant because I'm like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of money as company. What makes me think I'm going to see more money as lease?
You need to master this clock first before you jump into that.
Yeah, your clock
amongst another handful of skills, but that's the most important thing first.
The most important thing is that you're running at 100% efficiency, because you need 100% of that profit to take care of the. I don't know the lease over there. I mean, is that lease a percentage of the load, or are you getting the flat rate?
Flat rate.
Are they? Yeah. That means that you shouldn't sign that lease until you can train.
Yeah.
That lease is set up for you to make money when you're training. If you sign that lease without training, you're going to be mad.
Big mad.
And you've done 9 months, which means with this company, you're technically allowed to train. Now, people are going to say, you ain't got enough time to train. Here goes the decision with your own integrity. Do you want to check, or do you want to make sure you're a good person? That's a question you just answer for yourself. You don't got to say that. Just answer it for yourself.
Or be responsible for at a certain level for this person's outcome.
Parnell Taylor sent $20 to the Cash App and said that this show is priceless. And the reason why it's priceless is because technically your trainer should be telling everything we saying. Y'all should have heard, bro.
Big facts.
There's no reason why y'all weren't having hour-long talks about your clock for that 30 days you was with him. I don't understand how this is not a central part of his curriculum. Every person I trained understood their money. I told them, listen, they told you not how to crash in the class, right? I'm going to tell you how to make money. I'm gonna tell you how to make money. Why are they not telling y'all how to run y'all clock? I don't understand it. Who's a trainer right now that can call in and tell me what the hell's going on?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The whole time I was training, if we were moving, it was pretty much music and podcasts. When we stopped, he might have told me
See,
a little something that was on the
that's a
paperwork.
mistake
But that's
too.
it.
That's why I'm very grateful I had the trainer I did. He was an old school guy. Dude had been driving longer I've been alive. We did not listen to the radio for 2 weeks. There was no radio, no podcast, none of that. If
Hard
he
time.
wasn't instructing me, it was silence. That is how I trained my mind to focus on the road.
That's hard time right there. Gosh.
Oh yeah, and believe me, it was rough. I mean, it was a struggle, but I appreciate it every day. That's the best lesson I could have ever learned in driving.
Yeah, because I mean, the podcast thing is for when you are so good at your job, it's like breathing, and you want to learn something else.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, you with the Patreon now, if you have a problem, you can message me and say, "Hey, I'm having an issue here," and I'll get it back to you as fast as possible. Because it could be some. Listen, I made more money. Herm just told me this one thing. He said, "We shut down. I played around on the phone because the biddies was on me. Let's get that out of the way. All the biddies, so I'm on the phone, shishooing and buttercupping. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So then I decided to go to sleep about 1 o'clock. We're running the same load cross country. And I decided to go to sleep about 1, 2 o'clock. He knocks on my door at 4.
Let's go.
I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm naked. I'm like, what the hell going on? I wrote it. I'm like, hey, man, what happened to the morning? He said, 10 hours. First he said, look at your clock. I look at the clock. He said, go to the sleeper. I go to the sleeper. That sucker said 9 hours and 52 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? 9 hours 52. He says, yeah, when that hit 10s, you roll. You don't stay in the sleeper no longer than 10 hours ever. Let's go. I was cussing him out the whole way the next day until he ran me for 3 days and I kept it going. And my $600-700 check at Melton turned into 11, 12, 13. From that one little piece of information that he told me in passing made me way more money. And I had $1,500 weeks with Melton. One of those was someone had came over. I gave them a card and they came over on top of mine. So I was balling that week. But what I'm saying is it changed my outlook on the job. You in here, Lo? You good?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know I was in.
You got your jump hooked up?
Nah. We'll talk offline about that. I ain't set it up yet.
You don't want to get a drip. He's so stingy, bro.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It's all right. We'll talk offline. But listen, you cannot, and this is for every Look Ricky listen. This is for every Patreon person that is on my Patreon. This is what I'm going to be talking to you about. And there's way more gems than this. You cannot BS on your clock. Your clock equals money. If you mess with that clock, you're messing with your own money because you can mess with that clock and still be on time every time, which means the company made their money. And you can miss out on all the opportunities to make more money. And they will let you run that way for 5-10 years. They don't care. You running your clock wrong and you only seeing $700-800 checks. And there's an old dude with no teeth that walks very slow into the shipper, killing you. He's killing you in every form and fashion. When I tell you to run your clock tight, that completely feeds into your fuel bonus. They're tracking how many times you stop the truck. When you stop the truck, the computer calculates your fuel mileage goes down and it drops under what you're supposed to get for your fuel bonus. Meaning, if you're stopping 5-6 times a day, you're not going to get the fuel bonus. That old head that has a messed up bladder and just doesn't pee, he's getting more miles, better load with a fuel bonus to boot. He's killing you. And then y'all get on my live and say, this company don't make no money. Come on now. I don't care what type of pay rate you get. If you abuse this clock, it ain't gonna matter. A dude called me from Prime, he driving a lightweight truck. A lightweight truck at Prime is getting 48 cents a mile. Talking about he can't make money. Dog, I don't know what to tell you.
If he ain't making money at 48 cents a mile, he is the problem.
You're the
I'm sorry.
problem.
I made $1,200 weeks on 40, so yeah. He can stop that.
You can stop that. Lo, what you got to say?
Yeah. I was doing something on my phone. My bad.
Sing.
I want to say that this is a great conversation that y'all are having. I was listening to it probably about 20 minutes before I actually ended up coming in, and it's a great conversation that you all are having. Y'all are giving him some exceptionally well advice, and this is like what I was talking about when I made the well video. Is like this information isn't even out here no more, and it's just phenomenal that you guys are helping him out with this. That's great.
I appreciate it, man, because I'm a fan of yours.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You a fan of you because
I'm
you
a
like.
fan of all you guys, man.
Here we go.
I'm just glad y'all take the time to talk to the people like this, man.
I just want y'all to get your money up so y'all can stop being in the messages and in the comments. Not you particularly, Trey, but when people come in and say, he ain't making no money because he had Swift. Dude, that's a wrong statement. Cat State, do you understand?
Nah, Swift actually, that's kind of one of the ones for real.
Do you understand that CR England has 25-year veterans?
Yep.
They have a room in the main Vampire Hive. Okay?
Yeah, I was going to say,
That is-
ethically, that's mind-boggling.
At the main Vampire Hive, they have a room just for, what is it, 10 or 15 years?
No, they dropped down to 5.
To 5 years. When I was there, I thought it was 10 years.
Yeah, they dropped it to 5.
They have a room just for people who stay that long. And they're there buying houses and everything. You ain't going to call and tell me that you couldn't make no money with CR England, dude. You can't tell me you didn't, bro. Because you, as Lo says, you did not run their pay scale right. They have a pay path you're supposed to take. If you say, I don't want to do that, you just mess up your money. Because that's what I did my first year. I said, I ain't training. I'm a real nigga. I ain't doing that. Gangsta. And I ain't make no money. And here go Lo over the other side buying Benzes and helicopters, following the plan. It's simple as that. I don't want no, my biggest excuse, I don't want nobody in my truck. That's what I said.
Yeah, I made that mistake too, honestly.
Hold on one second. John, thanks for hitting the Cash App. Appreciate the love. Trainer for life, King D-Raj say. Ain't nobody trying to hear what you got to say, King D-Raj. You ain't call in. You don't mess with us for real. Trey, I got to let somebody else in here, man. Listen, my messenger's open on Patreon, and I want your next 5 days of graphs sent to me to see how you're running it.
All right, we can do that.
All right, buddy. Don't do drugs. I appreciate you for calling in.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Lo, Phil said that 7 out of 10 of these guys, when he goes to an orientation, don't know how to run a recap.
Yeah, that's probably factual. A lot of guys don't know how to run recaps, man. Recaps is something that can hurt you if you don't know what you're doing with it, because you can end up being delayed on a load. And if you don't know how to run recaps right, then yeah, you could be in a bad situation with your carrier or with your dispatcher because you didn't give the proper amount of hours that you had to run the load, and they put the load on you. Now you're like, oh man, I'm not gonna have enough time to run it in. So recaps can be something that is very, very difficult to understand. It's not that it's impossible to understand, but it can be difficult to understand, especially if you wasn't taught it in like your training, which your trainer should teach you that, but what recaps is or how to run recaps properly.
They're having no understanding of their clock when they get off the trainer's truck.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad trainers out there too. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the unfortunate part, is that there are a lot of bad trainers out there that are in this for the money, and they just want to put you in the seat and get the load as far as you can get it, and they're not trying to really teach you anything to that nature. So it sucks. Yeah.
Mr. Triple Digit says sometimes it can be the DM. Listen, this is why I don't harp on defeatist attitudes, Mr. Triple Digit. Pay attention. I'm not trying to offend you. I just want you to listen to what I'm saying. Well, it can be the DM. It could also be the relationship that you're not watering with the DM. You got to understand that you could be talking to your DM and not using the proper verbiage. You can be talking to your DM and using too much hip hop. You can be doing a lot of things. You
And
can't call you.
I feel like a problem too with driver DM relationships, which is not the case for everybody, but I've seen it happen commonly. Some of these drivers will come in and don't prove themselves to the DM to show that they are a consistent driver, that they can hit these appointments, they can run these miles without hesitation. And because of that, that's how you end up with the snickle for lows. Now, yes, are there some bad DMs out here? Yes.
Facts.
But again, you have to have your track record up to be able to make that case. That way you can go to your actual manager and be like, hey, I'm hitting these numbers. We have a breakdown of communication here. Why am I not hitting these targets that y'all promised me to hit?
Right, and you can't have that conversation until you haven't been late for 30 days.
Facts.
Because all they're going to do is go back to when you were late and say, this is why.
Exactly.
So when you get a 90-day never been late, the company's a completely different company. See, Prime, they keep a percentage on your ass. It shows your name and your on time percentage. And I had a dude tell, I was sitting in the office and he was like, I'm like 92% on time. And she was like, we only pay attention to 100. Shut them down.
Oof. That hurt.
Don't tell me 92, you suck. Next, like you gotta say everything you do there. How many times you stop? He knows. The computer tells him. How long you stay in the sleeper? He knows. The computer tells him. How fast you're going? He knows. The trailer and the truck tells him.
Yeah.
You're not hiding nothing from your DM, bro. He also knows how often, every time you go through the great state of Georgia and you get next to that booty meat, he look figure out you late. Every time you go to Georgia, you late. Nowhere else, you late. How come every time I send you to the Freaknik state, you late? What the hell going on?
Yeah, he know when you're stopping off to your favorite sneaky food spot off of I-80. He knows why you there for 45 minutes.
He know you near the crawfish town. That's not
Fact.
Listen, bro. And when you go over that chick's house, she live in a state that you can pull up to her apartment building. He know what you're doing. He know what you're doing. You stopped at an unopportune time and you stayed in the sleep for 14 minutes and the truck was not near any truck stop. You stopped and got some booty meat. And you messed my load up.
That outer route will kill you.
Oh my God. That'll mess up your fuel bonus too. Y'all got to follow them rights if you want your fuel bonus.
You
Y'all
can get suspended behind outer route with the wrong people.
Right. And we're going to talk about precision fueling tomorrow. Well, probably Monday because I got some stuff to do. But we're going to talk about fueling in the right place because a lot of y'all saying you'll never get that fuel bonus. If you're not following their fuel lane, you're not getting it anyway.
Yeah. You need to ask what fuel provider has their discount.
No. If you're a rookie, they send you the exact address of what they want you to fuel at. I know a lot of companies do. I think Prime did, didn't it, Lo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they tell you where to go fuel at.
They tell you where to go fuel at, and sometimes it's out or out. But you got to hit it. Because if you don't fuel where you're supposed to get to, that knocks you out the running for the fuel bonus. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. It's simple as that, man. You need to make sure that you're making the company money in every way it makes company so you make money. It's that simple. Don't go in there and say, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. This wheel is 150 years old, pimp. Ain't no reinventing it.
Another key point, too. If they have on-yard fueling, you better use it.
Facts.
They'll cut you out a bonus for not using on-yard fueling. I had to learn that the hard way.
Man, Prime will cut your card off if you're a certain distance close to the terminal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, no, you can't get fuel here. We're like, why? Because the terminal's 20 miles up the road, dick. Go to the terminal and get fuel.
Exactly.
For $1 cheaper, asshole. Like, I cussed a dude out one time. I was over there on, I think it was, 44 by Prime, and I went and stopped at that TA, try to get some fuel. He was like, nope. I said, all right, I'm wrong. I turned it around. I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. I get it. I'm going to talk shit about you when I hang up, but I get it.
Yeah, then you start getting the mass emails. Hey, drivers, we need you to fuel on site.
We need you to fuel on the site. If you're within 50 miles of the terminal, please go get fuel because they want you to go get fuel because they want to inspect the truck.
That too.
And that's going to take hours. Jesus, Joseph.
Oh
So
my
you,
God, DM inspecting a truck. Oh, it ruins my day. It
that's why.
ruins my day. Truck be clean, but it ruins my day because I'm like, I could be 2 loads down the road right now.
Yeah, that's why I learned how to fuel, or I know how to. Once I got in the lease, I would duck the terminal completely.
Yeah.
Cause, oh my God, we need to do a whole live on terminal rats.
Terminal rats.
And you know what? Prime's
Ah,
facilities are so nice. We got a bunch of terminal rats, bro.
man.
Man, I got people with Prime every time I hit the terminal. They're there. Every time, bro. How?
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say one piece about that. When you go to these terminals and you got business to handle, don't let these old heads talk your old head off. They'll trick you out your spot because they grumpy and mad because they didn't execute. They walking around with the clutch leg because they can't run like they used to,
With the
and they
clutch
mad at the
leg.
world. Oh, you know about the clutch leg?
No,
That little heavy dip off to the left.
how a person gonna be there 13 years and tell you I wouldn't stay here? I would go here, nigga. You're here. What are you
Bars,
talking about?
bars.
Nah, I wouldn't stay here. It's a bunch of BS over here. Your truck's ready. Look, I gotta go, young blood. I holler at you like, what?
Exactly.
How you gonna tell me not to be here? You been here 15 years.
That is reverse job securement.
Yeah, yeah. They're tricking you out your spit out, man. That's all they're doing. And some of them just want to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Want to have something to talk about. And oh my
You know
God,
the DM got kids, right? You know she married to such and such over here, right? You know they was messing Ryan, right?
exactly.
Like,
You know, Jackie Kennedy hit Rob Lowe. Like what? What are you talking about, man? I asked you about load securement.
I heard they might be losing this contract because somebody was talking too much.
How the fudge? Oh my God! How the French toast sticks? Do you know what he's losing?
Exactly.
Well, I know the owner. No, you don't. He allows you to speak to him to say he has an open door policy. You don't know him.
That's a fact.
He probably goes home and washes his face and say, "A trucker talked to me today, honey."
Yeah. And understand too with the open door policy, don't go there if you ain't went through the chain of command first.
Right.
Don't just go up to his office with some regular question you could have asked your DM, because that's how you end up with Snickle Free Low, because you made him mad.
Yeah. Now you don't went around him, and now Robert Lowe's at his desk, and it ain't about going to have a drink.
Yeah.
You need to manage your drivers better. They shouldn't be coming up to me. Now the dude, you done pissed him off with the big dog, and now he like, oh, I got something for you. You gonna run national beef heavy, and you're gonna run them to Florida, and you gonna get 2,000-mile Tropicana loads for the next
Every
month.
piece of 42,000 pounds.
And if you get out of that, you're going to Publix, Kroger's, and Aldi's.
Publix is pressure. Let me tell you. Whoo.
And if you in flatbed, I'm gonna send you to a place that got 60 different levels of pipe, but you still got a freaking tarp it. And they pulled the pipe off the ground in the mud. Why I gotta tarp this?
Right.
It's outside. It's outside in the rain. Don't matter. Say tarp.
Load you with 2 coils and you got to target because it's aluminum.
Exactly. Now you got to tarp that joint. Now you out there all day, and and if you do like me, I slip at the yard, which means I could do a 3-hour tarp and run 650 miles the same day. That's just how I'm getting down.
That's
I'm not
game
even playing
right
with you. Kroger's is the worst. Kroger's got too many rules, man. Jeez.
Yeah, their yards are crazy.
Make sure you talk to the United Nations when you go over there. When you're done with that, talk to DARPA, Skunk Works. You can go over here, talk to the CEA. When you're done with that, talk to the government. When you're done with that, call Oprah. It's like, bro.
Skunk works.
I'm just trying to drop the load,
Oh,
bro.
man.
Yeah. All these does have on-site parking. That's a gem. That's a fact, Mario. They do got on-site parking for us box carriers. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The best life on the road is flatbed. It's just these dudes ain't running no nights.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, that's true.
Wake up every day, 7 in the morning. Oh my God, wide open appointments. Oh, drop it off between 8 and 4. What?
Say less.
Oh my God. And we walk around the truck stop like we the hottest shit in the world. Yeah, you know I do flatbed, don't you? It's hard work, buddy. Watch out. Man, reefer drivers walking to the truck stop, half sleep, red eyes, bad teeth. Ugh.
And if it's Walmart, you gonna touch it. Let me tell you that don't get food for that dedicated Walmart. They talking about it's no touch free. Oh, you gonna touch it if you ain't trying to waste time. Believe me.
Yeah,
You ain't got time to be playing with Sally and Cheryl in the back room.
In the back room.
You spitting game to Shelly and Cheryl on the load. Oh, God.
Man, I be
Right.
trying to get this freight off my truck. Give me them keys to that pallet jack and let's go.
Hey, Cheryl, you're working that mallet. Can I get the keys, please? Jesus, Joseph. I tell you, I don't like Lowe's. You go to the little back thing, and then ain't nobody ever at the desk.
Oh, man.
And all you got to do is swap trailers. 45 minutes waiting on them. Then, oh, well, they're not working right now. Dog, I can't explain to you how many fucks I don't give about them not working. Take this thing off me and let's go.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. I'm just sitting there just stewing, bro. I'm getting more mad every 10 minutes. I'm pretty much ready to kick a baby in the face at this point.
And don't let it be the great Target where they got stuff stacked floor to ceiling in every nook and cranny you can think of. You got 13 pounds to drop. And they looking like, I don't know where I'm gonna put this. Somebody figure it out. I got to go.
I hate when I get there early and they be like, you ain't supposed to be here till tomorrow, but it's a drop and hook though. Nah, you got to follow your appointment. Why, if it's a drop and hook? Well, we don't want it on the premises that early. You can't drop it on the premises to 2 hours before your appointment.
Man.
So you're telling me 2 hours before my appointment, and then you're gonna hold it for 3-4 days before it's unloaded. Well, that's just the rule. Wow, dude, I could have picked another. These are the little things that you only run into these things when you're good at running. The people out here who suck at running, you're not running into this stuff because you're getting there right on time anyway.
That's a fact.
Yep.
This is a complaint when you're good at running and you're getting there so early, then they're giving you excuses to why they ain't together. Oh man, my wife just had a baby. I don't care. I'm trying to run, man.
Yeah, like the account I'm on, I beat the clock. I beat the appointments 2 hours every time, unless I get held by the previous warehouse. They're like, "Oh, we're not gonna let it go to the appointment time." Why? It's ready on the yard. Let me leave. I got to go.
That's a fact. That's why I didn't do. I'm gonna be real. That's why I didn't do tanker. I don't like waiting for.
Oh yeah, tanker is a patience game. I ain't gonna lie to you.
God, I ain't got it, bro. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather run.
Yeah,
when I'm running, I
tanker
feel
is
like
a
I'm sitting on the
patience
couch.
game.
Yeah. Hold on, people. Listen, y'all got 2 smart people in here plus me that y'all can call in and talk to, and ask your question. You have 2 people in here. This is another problem too. Over entertaining yourself.
Oh, yes.
If you in a truck and you playing jigabooing on top of coon on top of marmalade scooping for 12 hours a day, and then you're wondering why you didn't know something about the industry. This is your career. Let me tell you something. Doctors can't go to YouTube, bro.
That's a fact.
They cannot do it, bro. Engineers can't go to YouTube and like, let me figure out a flux capacitor. That's not how that works. You can't do that. Y'all have the position of where there's game out here that you can actually get, and it translates into real money.
Yeah. Like prime example, I took Dean's course back when I was running Budweiser, running 600 miles a day. I learned it in 3 months.
That's fast, bro. That's a big course, bro.
Yeah, I had time. I'm up and down the road running I-10.
Did you apply it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what a Benz at? I know you about to buy a Benz. That's the first thing they learn from Dean course. How do I buy a car not in my name? No, I don't know.
No, I learned proper business structure. That's what I learned. Proper business structure. How to set up proper business credit.
Hold on 1 second. We got Derek Mitchell in the building. Derek,
Hey, what's up? Y'all can hear me?
we can hear you, buddy.
All right, appreciate it, man. Hey, I just want to say, man, Chuck Brown, I got my CDL, man.
You did again? Say what?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, my bad. Yeah, I said you're the reason I got my CDL, man. I was like 2017, I started watching your shows, and I finally got my CDL. Because I live in South Florida, so, you know, a lot of these OTR companies don't hire down south, so I started out with even. I did like 2 years, and I went local to do reefer because, you know, my dad was in and out of the hospital. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys, everything y'all do. It's been a while here for the guys to try and get in the game.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. You making money?
Yeah. Well, actually, the funny thing is, actually, I stopped. I used to do a fuel for Keenan Advance at Port Everett, Lauderdale. The money was good for a local job. I was grossing like, they pay every other week. I was grossing like 5 before. But
$5,000?
25.
Sheesh. And you're on a 1099, I'm assuming.
No, that was something without, you know, it's bi-weekly pay. So you gotta wait 2 weeks for the.
Well, shoot, ain't nothing wrong with that if it add up. You managing your money correctly.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Back up. Yeah, actually,
Your phone's messing up there. Y'all hear what he said?
It was in and out.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Derek. I hope whatever information I give out really works for y'all. I hope it really does. I want y'all to actually learn something because, as Lo said, ain't nobody talking about this. If people get in, and let me tell you why it's Loshan's fault. Let's break that down. Loshan made leasing, owner-upping, and fleeting so freaking popular that everybody stopped talking about the stuff that the greater majority of people need. Now they're only talking about stuff that's usually above the people coming in. You know, they're talking about like leasing and where to go and getting the authorities and all this other
Fleet
stuff.
ownership
And all that. And the problem with that is that that's an elite section of people, which means small. There's a small group. So the greater group, no one's talking to them about their time clock. And they're just hitting the wall. Blow. So when Lo made that video, it was like, he's right. I say it's been 2 years between somebody talk. Because when people say, oh, man, yeah, I'm going to tell people about trucking, they're talking about leasing and up. That is it.
and there's a lot of steps before you get to that point. A lot of steps.
How are we talking to y'all about leasing if the time clock ain't together?
If you don't know how to check your tire pressure right. Can't read a tire gauge.
You can't read a tire gauge. You don't understand the rules of your time clock to watch for ducking on DOT. But I'm telling you to own a truck? It makes no sense. Now, for the small group of people that want to go to Lowe for all the insanely dope drip that Lowe has to give you, they need to be paying Lowe and talking in private.
I don't got none.
They need to be paying Lowe and talking in private. Because once we start talking about how many trucks to string together, yeah, people in their fantasy want to hear about that, but how is that applicable to what you're doing at Swift right now?
Yep.
We looked at Trey's time clock low, and he had a period where he had to stop a lot of times, like 7 or 8 times that day.
Mm-hmm.
All of it was on duty.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
3 hours of on duty.
3 hours of, this is what I mean, bro. 3 hours of on duty time may not seem like a lot that day, but once you get to multiplying that for 52 weeks, that ended up being $20,000.
on
Yeah.
time management alone. We ain't
On
talking about
time,
changing nothing with your driving
none of
pattern, the speed, none of that. Time
nothing
management.
else. We talking about time. The time management. Well, it means you lost 20 grand out the door.
Yeah, he's burning it up like that and burning his clock. Yeah, he's losing money. Like,
You're losing money, and he's like, "Oh, well, I had to stop a lot." The stopping wasn't the problem. We're using Trey as an example. I'm not beating up on him. Trey is in my Patreon. He can text me anytime he wants to.
right.
So what I'm saying is, him as an example, it isn't the fact you stop; it's the fact what you classified the stop as,
Correct.
because that's what's taking your 70. Because sometimes if you driving from New York to Baltimore through Delaware or whatever, you're gonna stop 7 times. But you want them suckers to be off duty. That
Yeah.
simple conversation, we probably kicked Trey up to $1,000 a week. And then on top of that, with him not knowing that, they were trying to push him into leasing. He ain't ready to lease.
Oh, yikes.
He ain't even mastered the 10-hour yet, the 10-hour sleeper yet.
No.
He'll get there.
But they gonna push him into leasing though.
Yeah.
And watch him crash dummy immediately.
Since if they want to call it that, since the fall of YTTA, we have gone astray, bro. We have gone. I hate to put it that way, but we have gone astray.
Well, everybody just ascended to a different level and went their own way. I put it that way.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. We have went astray because the people. I understand 1 million people are coming in the truck in a year. We've been out of the info loop for what you want to call it, Lo, 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And everybody who's talking about they're better or not, he's right. There's maybe 2 or 3 people talking about it. And don't talk about the Negro sector of trucking. Jeez. Let's look at the white people. They got Trucker Coach, dropping gems, Red Viking Trucker, dropping gems. Who do we have?
The old school guy from Canada with the Pete.
Exactly. But okay, we switch over to the Negro sector. Who do we have besides me?
You, Low. I'm sorry, her name has escaped me right this second. Miss Haddish, not Haddish, I'm sorry. Miss Tiffany, whenever she pops up.
Right.
Well, that's because our own people push us out. You know what I'm saying? When we're
Right.
trying to relate to them and give them the information that, not to sound crazy, but that the other side ain't giving them and ain't willing to work with them, and that we have the insight or the right angle to take, they look at us like we jigaboo and like they ain't gonna take our word, but they're gonna take their word for it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
They'll rather beef with us than to and then to hear the drip.
Correct.
Or they'll rather negatively disagree. There's a toxic way of disagreeing. Like Low believes you come in the game, you go straight lease. I don't believe that. But it's a toxic way of disagreeing with that. I could say he trying to dupe y'all. I could say something stupid like that. Or I say I disagree with that. This is what I prefer, and this is why. No
Well,
one's saying you can't disagree.
Well, I don't think that you should come in the game and go straight lease anymore. I mean, I probably had that thought maybe about 3-4 years ago. I think that you should come in and go company for a year and figure out if this is an industry that you actually want to stay in and that you want to make money in. And then after a year, if you're comfortable with the industry, you know you've been through 4 seasons and you know it's something that you want to do, then you could step up and do a lease. But no, I think that everybody should go company for a year and first figure out if you're willing to stay in this industry for an extended period of time.
That's a fact. And the problem within our cultural sector of trucking is people would rather be entertained than educated. That's why the beefs and the back and forths draw so much of a crowd versus now when we're educating, it's the numbers that they are.
Erica, you say that's because y'all care what they think. That's not true. That's not true. That's just an untruth. The reason why the reason why we know it's a problem is because if I drop a video with negative into the thing, it'll do 20,000 hits. If I drop a video, well, we're gonna help the rookies out, it'll do 2,000 hits. So that's not us caring. That's y'all picking the thing that is negative.
Correct.
Prime
I agree.
example, the last time y'all, when it was all of y'all on here, was I think it was about 4 of y'all, UTV and a couple other people. Y'all were addressing some. Oh, it was about the contract thing when Lowe was doing the investing. That
Right.
had 400 people in the live.
400 people in the live want to hear about jigabooing.
Yep.
As soon as we say we gonna learn today, 100 people.
Yeah.
That see, YouTube can put your video in front of 1 million people, but it tells me they're more interested in this. And if it's drama, they'll say people are really interested in this. Exactly. Truckers love drama. So then when y'all like, well, hey man, why y'all don't do stuff helping out the drivers? Because a person who's in a business situation in YouTube, like you see with a lot of the jigaboo sector, the chitlin sector, they realize that it's more lucrative to just jigaboo.
Big
It's
facts.
it's a business choice. There's a reason why a company can come out and say, oh, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that, and then they can switch to something that's kind of negative because it's like, hey, well, people buy this more. There's a reason Pepsi sells better than Pepsi Zero. It's that simple. So it's like, why ain't they pushing Pepsi Zero more? Because y'all don't want it.
Yeah.
Y'all want the jigabooing.
The sugar sauce.
If I came on here and said Red Viking exposed, it'd be 500 people in here. From a side of a sector that swear they ain't sub to me. When I say Loshan exposed, that video did good. Oh, TV gonna tell us the stuff nobody knows. That ain't gonna make you no money. So if I come here and be like, low light skin and his Benz has got a 6-cylinder, y'all want to hear that though? Like what? How does that make you any money? And your number one fan just came in and showed exactly. My number one fan came in and showed that and said, y'all ain't got many people over here unless you talking about me. And we over here trying to actually help drivers, bro. Like, bro, that's not what we on right now. Go to the Hot Mess channel for that, bro.
Wait, who said that?
Blue Chew. We don't say his name no more.
He came over here?
Yeah, he popped in. Somebody said, ain't nothing going over here. It's dead.
It's dead. He didn't untun that. He came over here talking mess, and it's like, bro, who are you helping?
See,
Right.
what those guys that do all of this drama channels and shit, what they don't realize is it's cool for a season, but you won't survive long. And it's been proven, it's been shown that your numbers will die. Your channel will die. You will become irrelevant. You can't go past next summer. I promise you next time this year, your channel won't be popping. How many messy channels we done seen come in and that has lasted with doing messy shit? Not many.
Exactly.
They die out. They burn out, and then once they burn out, they go and create other channels and they try to get back into talking about trucking.
And
But
it
what happened to
still
you
don't
about
work.
being messy though? Because that messy shit didn't work but for so long.
Right. And you're talking messy stuff about people you've never met. At the end of the day, I've never met a trucker, coach, or a Red Viking. For me to be dropping a video about anything they got going on is it's asinine. It's ridiculous. I don't know what the heck's going on with him. Wish him the best. I'm not angry at him about if he's saying something wrong. That's between him and his congregation, bro. Not me. I'm just getting my feet wet, and I want to tell you I really appreciate this talk. Appreciate you, nerd. Nerd stuff PV. And that's why I tell you, man, you got to support this stuff, because as soon as it's not lucrative, then next thing you know, we're doing vlogs again, and you're like, I ain't learning nothing. You ain't want to learn nothing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like y'all have to understand, these people are taking time out of time that they could be using to make other means of money, but we're trying to pass it forward to help the next people coming up behind us to ascend.
True.
Because
That's a fact.
Loke, I'm pretty sure he's got some sports stuff lined up where he could be making some 6-figure deals and cashing out, but he took the time out to talk to y'all.
Yeah, I'm trying to get celebrities to sign on with me. What y'all talking about? Shh.
He's trying to get
And-
Safari
and-
to stop jigabooing and come down there and sign on with him. Stop crying, nigga, in bed. Shit.
Right.
3-0, but fine African gentleman low. Can you shut down for the winter and still make it money wise?
You can if you're in the right commodity. I mean,
Yeah.
you pull in oversized, heavy haul and all that stuff. Most of them heavy haul dudes, they don't run in the winter. You'll see them all spring, all summer, and they made so much money that they could sit down for fall and winter.
Yeah, I know an old head with a heavy haul company. He only runs 5 months out of the year.
Bang.
Facts. Hold on. Derek's back. Wrong button. Derek, what was your question?
My bad, my bad. I was going to ask you guys, because what I meant to say was when I got my first job with Stevens, I don't know if you guys, what happened to you guys when you first started. Did they push the lease on you guys real hard after you got out of training? Because it happened to me, and I got like messed up with that. Because when you're new in the game, you don't know nothing about leasing, and if you don't know what you're doing, you get messed up real bad financially. How do you guys feel about that?
It's a business. Of course, they're going to push it. They're supposed to make money, but it is at the same time they can't force you to do it. So if someone chooses it, you did it as an adult. So on one hand, it's crappy business, but it ain't a legal business. You know, I'll put it this way: the bank pushes you to buy a house, like.
True.
You know, it pushes you to buy a car. It pushes you to do stuff like, hey, man, you know what? Your credit's good. Take these 7 credit cards. But you, as an adult, need to know that I ain't ready for that. And you should have been taking, not you particularly, but people who end up in this situation, you should have been taking in the proper media to know that, oh, I'm not ABCD. I don't even need to be playing with that yet. So no, thank you.
Facts.
But if you go in and just fall for the hook, line, sinker, then it's like, who is that really on? Because if you're gonna fall for that, you know, I got a bottomless boat I can sell you. You know what I mean? Like, I got a bottomless boat I can sell you, because people fall for doing a lot of dumb stuff. How many people did the Herbalife thing? Oops, I didn't mean to drop that.
You know what?
Come on, man. See how quiet it got? You hear a bitch nigga dropping here.
Herbalife.
Lo, you still got that,
that one
in
right
your garage,
there.
Lo? You got that Herbalife in your
that
garage,
one right
Lo?
there.
Is that like some grass seed? I got some grass seed. Is that the Herbalife y'all talking about?
They know what I'm talking about, because they had an auntie and an uncle and a cousin that was doing it, trying to push it on them.
Or the flat tummy tea.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, as an adult, you should be taking in the media to give you some foresight of what's going on. From me taking in media that was good for my future, I didn't buy a house.
Right.
And people like, well, you should have. Should I have bought a house? Do you know how many times trucking has dipped for me? I probably would have lost a house 2 times.
Right. Because that kind of happened to me, because I was hauling gasoline in Fort Lauderdale. Then the pandemic hit. Everybody in the house, nobody's buying gas. I got laid off. So if I had bought a house, I would have been screwed.
You'd have been screwed. And they'd be like, I'm going to give you some money. Then they would have turned around and been threatening you soon, right after the pandemic. Like, no, you could have just waited until you were in the optimum position to do so. I tell people all the time, Grant Cardone don't own a house. He rents his spot for $260,000 a month.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
He got that much money and he still won't buy it. And he says you're an idiot for doing it.
Yeah, I was. I don't know who was talking about this, but he was talking about how buying a house can leave you landlocked, because if there's like another job opportunity, you stuck at that house. You
stuck. Because when it's time to sell it, guess what? You ain't gonna make no money on it.
Or you're gonna take a loss.
Exactly. So what I'd say is, Derek, some stuff is our fault because we should be. I see you, Darnell. Some stuff is our fault because we should be doing our own research, and we should be taking in the proper media that feeds our life, not take from it.
True.
So if you were listening to the proper podcasts and the proper YouTubers and stuff like that, when they tried to hit you with the hook, you'd have been like, ooh, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I wish I knew now, because they get the guy in the suit and it's a black dude, so he's talking. You're gonna make all this money. The truck's under warranty. You don't got to worry about breaking down.
You're gonna be dating Lil' Kim, everything.
They don't tell you that when the truck breaks down or it's in the shop for maintenance, you still got that bill every week, and when you go home, you're gonna be down a couple $100,000. Well, yeah.
Real quick before we
$1,000
let Darnell in here, Darnell sent 20 to the cash, 25. Melton sent 10. Trey sent 20. Parnell sent 20 and said, "Thanks for the game. This show is priceless. I appreciate all the love in the cash apps, because like I tell y'all, they don't want the real stuff out, man. All you gonna get is marmalade scoop and sugar cooning. That's it. And a lot of y'all I'm seeing in my comments, I ain't gang banging on wax. I see you over there taking in the sugar cooning. I know what you're doing. And then you're gonna
Gang.
come back here and say, hey man, can you help me with this? Well, hold on, bro. I thought you like marmalade scooping. Why you over here trying to get game for? They couldn't tell you that? On the jigaboo circuit?
On the Jigaboo circuit.
Right.
They couldn't tell you how to get your money right? Well, no. You know why? Because their money's not right. You don't make $2,000 a week and drive a Lincoln LS. Stop it. Chingale. Negro no bueno. Hold on one second. Hold on. Darnell, where you go, man? Come back in. I know you got something wild to say.
Oh, Darnell in here? I'm putting mine on mute.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me on the show, man. Thanks.
Hey, Derek, don't do drugs, man. I appreciate you for calling in.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, where Darnell go? Darnell, come back, man. We'll wait on Darnell while we get back to jigabooing. If you decide to take in jigabooing, you are going to start jigabooing because that's what you listen. If you are what you eat, right? Then your mentality is what you take in.
Yeah.
Positive people don't take in harsh negative stuff every day. They don't, bro. They don't take it in. They just don't.
Like
what you'll
myself.
find is negative people watch negative stuff. Positive people watch positive stuff. I tried to send Loshan some jigabooing earlier today.
And what did I say when you sent me that shit?
Don't send that mess to me. I'm rich. I'm like, okay, that was aggressive as shit. Jesus Christ. You can send it to me. I was letting you know what it was. Darnell, Big Money Grips. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm just trying to live like you, Darnell. That is it.
I checked the channel before I came in here.
Yeah, it's broadcast. Oh, this is still a teachable moment. So we still talking about the good stuff right now.
Okay, what are you talking about?
We're talking. First of all, we started off with time clocks, and we figured out that 7 out of 10 rookies don't know how to do a recap.
Correct.
You agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
And we're trying to figure out how they went through training with a trainer for 30, 40 days, and they didn't teach them how to do the recap.
Because everything is about the fresh clock.
About the fresh clock.
Yeah, they could care less about. They can care less about doing recaps because that don't help the trainer get that guap. But a fresh clock will.
Okay. So to me, that feel like that is you got to turn it down a little bit back there, Darnell. You got a little bit of reverb going.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, I feel like. Do you have it on the radio?
No, I don't have it on the radio. I have it on my phone.
Okay, maybe I'm hearing that on my end, but
I'm driving, but maybe that's what you hear.
yeah, that's cool. So, what do you think should be done as a rookie industry wide for them to get that game if the trainer not gonna give it to them?
That's a great question. I think one of you YouTubers should make a video about that. I don't know how to answer that one. But I think it should be covered in your training. That's if you have a great trainer, you'll do recaps to show them how it works. But you may not do it all the time, but you may give them, a couple of weeks doing recaps. Just to show them that it can be done and how it works.
Right. And tell them why they want to know how to do it, because I'm getting guys in the chat that's saying they do they're OTR and they do a 34-hour reset every week.
Why?
That's what he said. He want to make sure he doesn't run out of time.
No, you should be running your clock about 8.5 hours a week. Or here's what you can really do. You could do 7 days a week. That's 63 hours. Or 7 days a week. That's 63 hours. On that eighth day, you got 7 hours. And then on that ninth day, you get that 9 back, and then so on and so forth.
And you can. So you saying you can stay out for 3 months long, Darnell, and don't do a 34-hour reset?
Most definitely.
That's crazy.
No, 3 months? No. I don't know about 3 months, but I know you can get a solid. The longest I've done it was for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I went home, but yeah, I did it for 6 weeks straight.
I'm trying to put your own game in that, and then when you see Darnell drive by and all you can see is his gums and teeth because he getting money, and you like, I can't make no money here. And Darnell cheesing because you don't know how to run your clock. You don't know how to do what you're supposed to do. He knows how to run his clock. And Darnell ain't been driving 20 years. How long you been driving, Darnell?
Now, running your clock is very, very, very important.
How long you been running, Darnell? Can you hear me? I think we're getting some breakup action, Darnell. I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. Wrong button. Darnell, can you he must have went out of range. But like I said, that's why they're making money, bro. That's why they're wrapping trucks and talking mess because and let me tell you something about truckers. They will know this and they will know you need this and not tell you.
Yeah, like it's some type of secret society club.
Yep.
Like it's some type of secret. I'm not gonna tell you. No. And they'll just say that's because you don't know how to run. That's it. Some weird blanket statement where look, the cheese don't burn on the griddle. Like, how does that help me make money?
Yeah, and be aware of where you're getting your information from too, because when I came in, this was back in the days of that walkie-talkie app. I think it was called Zello or something like that.
Yeah.
I got into a trucker group, but the culture was of the other side. I'll put it that way. And rather than them trying to give me information to help my situation or to be able to say, this is what you can do to help yourself the best, they were like, oh, you need to do this. You need to go down here and get this. And if you ain't doing this, you don't know nothing. You just a rookie, rather than trying to educate me. Yeah, I got cussed out by some mountain men. Because I was trying to get information. I was like, this is what I want to do and how I want to do it. And they were like, oh, no, you can't do it that way. And that's how I ended up at Coke.
Wow.
Yo, Phil got a lot of trauma that he wants to talk about. He's just angry about it.
Man, my rookie years were rough, man. It was rough. It was a rough game.
Jesus Christ, man. You gotta let it go, Phil. You gotta move on.
No, I mean I've let it go. I'm just trying to enlighten the people to avoid the mistakes I made.
Right. Because all advice ain't created equal, man.
Yeah.
It really isn't. Hold on. Driving 6 months straight to make you a super trucker. Y'all going to make me come out there to the show you all how to do it right. That means you don't know how to drive. Yeah. There ain't no
I mean, was that the exact verbiage that he was using too?
I guess.
Yeah, it said driving 6 months straight make you a super trucker. Y'all gonna make me come out here to show y'all how to do it right.
Wow.
Bro,
all right.
Listen, the numbers don't lie. The reason why there's not 100 ways to run a clock, because it's numbers, bro. And you can't fudge the numbers. Well, the people that can make more money than you know it, but their consequences will get them eventually.
That's a fact.
Okay? And I'm going to be real. I don't respect people who run illegal. I don't. Because you can't, I'm going to teach you how to make money in this game. No, you're not. You're cheating. You're running super cheap freight, and you're running twice the amount of distance you're supposed to run. I don't look up to that. I just don't.
And don't let these DMs push you to be unsafe, because at the end of the day, you will be the one left holding the flag.
Right. You'll be the one holding the flag, looking ridiculous. And next thing you know, they're like, I didn't tell you to do that, because they're going to tell you to run messed up over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to do something dangerous, send it through the call com.
Exactly.
Because the call com, they can trace it back and say, you told them to do this.
Yeah, I got tricked into running 15 hours straight by a DM during my rookie year because they promised somebody that they were going to deliver the rest of a load because the truck broke down. And I didn't know no better, so I did it. It's a miracle I didn't get stopped by DOT. I would have had every kind of ticket you can think of and probably would have got shut down because I'm running hazmat.
You did that with hazmat, bro?
Yeah.
Ooh, they'd have did
I'm
you
wide
dirty.
open rookie. I'm just grinning. I'm happy to be outside. Didn't know no better. It was just exciting. Ooh, I'm on the road. I'm driving a truck. I'm pulling a tank. I'm somebody.
Damn, Phil, they passed your career around, dog. God.
Hey, I learned all these lessons, man. I had to learn.
Yo, Phil, you gotta start a channel, bro. Jesus Christ,
I will.
man.
I have plans. I'm working on it.
You gotta start a channel, right? Because I mean, you done been through some stuff, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, trucking will show you who you are and who you aren't. This is a make or break game. You could come in here and learn from us and do it the right way, or you can get out here and get burnt like I did because I ain't know no better.
Damn, bro. Damn.
I tell y'all, man, sign up for the Patreon. Man, I ain't getting you that $20. I'm a runner. All right. Good luck. Because you know what they're going to do with your sweet meat? They're going to pass you around. How they going to pass you around? Because when you doing this stuff without knowing what you're doing, then you end up being a job hopper. And they just pass you from one pimp to another. Let me tell you something. If you at Crest, and you said this is some junk, and then went to Covenant, you went to the same company.
Duh.
You went to the same company. No, I'm done with Covenant. I'm going to go to CR England. I'm done with CR England. I'm going to go to PAM. Dude.
Yeah.
Well, all these companies messed up in trucking. No, fool, you don't have enough experience to get to the companies that got the money. You might as well sit there and take it.
Yeah. I went through 3 companies before I really figured the game out. I went from where I was at OTR. I went to work for Roto-Rooter, driving a vacuum truck, and from there to Coke. And then I was like, okay, I need to elevate. So I left my hometown and drove for JB Hunt.
Hold on one second, dog. Listen, y'all, I got to go handle this little business. Phil, I appreciate you for calling in.
Oh, yeah, man. Anytime.
Lo, I appreciate you for calling in. Lo's about to gear up and get back into the business. I don't know what part of trucking he's going to be discussing. We definitely will be collaborating more often. He's getting this set up together. Don't do drugs. Be happy. Take in the information that helps you. When I talk to you about numbers, numbers help you because that's your money. We're not talking about broad strokes and philosophies and all this and you getting into what I got personally. Listen, do you want some money? Y'all want to do some drugs? Then you go to the drug house. You want some money? You come over here. And I'm going to show you how to get the money out your company. I don't care what company at, none of that, bro. I don't care what company at, none of that. We going to get to this money in here like we've been doing. We've been doing revolutionary work in here. And like he said, it ain't out there. It ain't out there, bro. Ego, pride, and bravado is controlling the trucking industry right now. Don't do drugs. I'm Audi 5000.